Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I saw this clip doing the rounds over on X recently. It's of Douglas Murray being invited on Bill Maher to talk about obviously a number of things. And one of those things was the Palestinian as well as the Israel war that is going on. Or I should actually talk about the fact that it's not Palestinians versus Israelis. It's more Hamas versus Israelis and trying to wipe out all of Israel, because that's exactly what's in their charter, to wipe out all of God's chosen people. Now, Douglas Murray, as you guys are fully aware, he is very much outspoken about supporting Israel. You can't just take out a small portion of Hamas, because Hamas is going to regroup and retaliate, as we saw with Iran. Right? It's like one of these things that they don't like being found to be weak. They don't like being attacked at all by anyone, even though they're the ones that are actually the evil group that shouldn't exist. Now, I know there's a group of people out there that deny that the Holocaust happened. There's a lot of anti-Semitic individuals, including Dan Bilzerian. That's a video for another time, believe you me. But Douglas Murray is a very smart, intellectual individual. He's been to the Gaza Strip. He's been to where the horrible October 7th massacre took place. He's seen all of his stuff. He's done his research, and now he's coming away and sharing his thoughts quite brilliantly, I might add, to a lot of these useful idiots that walk around like on college campuses shouting, you know, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, even though they don't even know what that means. It's a genocidal phrase, if you ask me. So anyway, have a watch of Douglas Murray pretty much destroy pro-Palestinian useful idiots who freak out every time Jews win the wars that Muslim terrorists start. Here you go.
You can't just put out 80% of a fire. You have to put out the whole thing. You can't destroy 80% of Hamas. You can't not get the leader who masterminded the 7th, Sinwar. And that's all in Rafah. And the second thing is, I don't think there's any law of war that says you can start a war and then when you begin to lose it, you say, let's pretend we didn't start it.
But that is always what Israel faces.
Sure. I mean, it's very strange. A year before I was in Ukraine, I was with the Ukrainian armed forces when they were retaking land from the Russians, and nobody was saying, oh, hold on, don't win too much. Everyone was egging them on. Every Western leader gets a shot of testosterone whenever they talk about the Ukrainian armed forces. And yet the Israelis never allowed to win.
Yeah.
Very strange.
What do we attribute that to? Why is that anti-Semitism? Would you say that why they have a set of rules for them? I mean, they truly are the chosen people. They're chosen to not win the war. I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, for some reason, I think anti-Semitism is one of the reasons. Whenever Israel is involved in a conflict, the whole world goes bananas. And you can't even have a Eurovision Song Contest without it becoming an Israel-Gaza thing. It's crazy. Everyone gets obsessed with this conflict. And I think one reason is, by the way, is because a lot of people, Democrats and Republicans and people of all stripes, have said for a generation, until the Palestinian-Israeli issue is solved, there won't be peace in the Middle East. As if you solve the Palestinian-Israeli issue and then the economy of Yemen starts to boom, and then like the Iranian mullahs give women rights and like the Saudis become really keen on the gays. No.
He's right on a number of fronts. Everyone seems to go against Israel. Did you notice October 7th? There were a lot of people actually cheering and celebrating that. What's more concerning is, especially on college campuses, there were people holding a vigil for Sinwar, the man that orchestrated and masterminded the massacre of October 7th. And everyone's just going, what's happening here? That doesn't make too much sense. So why is it one war or one side is praised highly and that the other side is not? So one side being the Palestinians, they're praised. enormously, but yet the ones that are actually our allies and the ones that are supposed to be destroying terror, they're not praised at all. In fact, they're condemned. They're humiliated. And Douglas Murray rightfully points out what happens in Ukraine. Everyone's cheering on and egging on the Ukrainians. Yeah, we want you to win. Don't stop. But everyone's saying, no, no, no. Israel, stop. You're committing a genocide. See what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. So why is it that all of these Western leaders somehow seem to think that by saying to Israel, you must stop, they're doing any good? What do they want? Do they want terror to continue, or do they want it to end? Because the only way it's going to end is if Israel actually wipes out not 80%, but 100%. It's the only way you're going to destroy it. And last point, Saudis become really keen on the gays. Like, that's actually pretty funny. Everyone seems to think he's right. Like, if you decide to settle all of the conflict in the Middle East, and let's just say there is peace in the Middle East, what's going to happen? Like, do you think that all of the other countries like Iran, the Saudis, everything, you know, they're going to suddenly change their ways because Israel won? Israel has brought about peace, as it were. What do you think they're going to do? No, they're going to retaliate at some point. I don't think, and this is like biblical, I don't think there will really be, if there is peace, that will be the end. And I think the end comes when the Antichrist enters the scene, but I won't be here, because once the Antichrist enters the scene, I'm up, I'm gone, I'm raptured, man. So I don't have to deal with any of this crap anymore. So until such time, we're watching a lot of conflicts unravel in the Middle East. And there's always been a lot of struggle. And I mean, Donald Trump brought about the Abraham Accords for a specific reason. It brought a little bit of peace to the region, but not too much. There was still a lot of conflicts going on in Lebanon and everywhere else. And look, the thing is, what's taking place over in the Middle East, it's really sad. It's horrific. It's horrendous. And I'm sure Douglas Murray knows exactly what he has been seeing is horrific and it's horrendous, both on Israel's side as well as the innocent Palestinians that are being killed as well. So in war, there are casualties. But for some reason, when Israel does it, they're committing some form of genocide, but when the other side does it, they're not. And then the world attacks Israel for defending themselves and for trying to remove terror, but yet they don't condemn, or they won't condemn, the violence of the terrorists. Imagine that, right? Now, I want to make mention of the fact that Douglas Murray has a new book coming out, which I think is pretty exciting, actually, because Douglas Murray is one of the best writers we've got alive today. And Elon Musk even said it. He shared it on Twitter today. Douglas Murray is an excellent writer. Douglas Murray's book is called On Democracies and Death Cults, Israel, Hamas, and the Future of the West. Be very interesting to see what Douglas Murray thinks of the future of the West, because really what's happening in the West at the moment, especially here in Australia, with the misinformation, disinformation bill that they're trying to ram through Parliament at the moment before the next election, it's highly concerning. So what is the future of the West, you may be wondering to yourself? Doesn't look good on this front, but it looks good on the American front. Donald Trump winning. He is draining the swamp, man. He is creating these incredible opportunities. RFK Jr. just became the health secretary, I believe. Now, prepare for Big Pharma and everyone like that to shake in their boots. He is going to uproot and change health in America as we know it for the better. Same with Tulsi Gabbard being National Intelligence Officer, I believe it is, or Secretary, whatever their title is, but she's going to change everything. The left is having a massive meltdown, people, and it is glorious to see. Absolutely glorious. Now, Hamas recently, after Donald Trump got elected, they're calling for peace in the Middle East. Russia, Vladimir Putin, similar thing. I'm ready to talk. Because they know strength breeds results. Weakness only breeds more weakness, but more death. Strength, and the right kind of strength, we know that comes from Donald Trump, brings about peace and good times. That's the way I see it. Anyway, you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.